Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Wherever you're at in the world, welcome to Last Raps Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Tonight, we are bringing you the game between the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. It is a rematch of yesterday's affair, as we will be calling this one here tonight. Just trying to get ourselves in a spot where we can get everything ready to go. It's an earlier start than it was last night. Of course, the ball game was a victory for the Fukuoka Ball Club. It ended up being 4-2 in a game that seemed to take forever in which to play. So we are just getting ourselves ready for this one here. We'll give you the starting lineups. First of all, for the visitors from Fukuoka, leading off tonight and in center field is number 23, Yukio Shudo. Batting second and in left field is number 3, Kensuke Kondo. Batting third in right field is number 32, Tetsuro Yanagamachi. In the cleanup spot and doing the designated hitting is number 9, Yuki Yanagita. Batting fifth at first base is number 5, Hotake Yamakawa. Batting sixth at third base is number 24, Ryoya Kurihara. Batting seventh at second base is number 8, Taisi Makihara. Batting eighth and doing the catching is number 62, Takashi Umeno. Batting ninth, the shortstop, is number 6, Kenta Imamiya. And they are going to be facing Tetsuki Koja, who will take to the hill tonight for the Tohoku Rakuten Gold Eagles. It's his first start of the year. And now your starting lineup for the home team, the Tohoku Rakuten Gold Eagles. Leading off and playing in left field is number 38, Naoki Sato. Hitting second in center field is number 8, Ryosuke Tatsume. Hitting third and doing the designated hitting is number 9, Luke Voigt. And the cleanup spot at third base is number 34, that is Fumiya Kurikawa. Batting in the fifth spot in right field is number 51, Yuya Ogo. Batting sixth and playing first base is number 3, Hideto Asamura. Hitting in the seventh spot at shortstop is number 6, Itsuki Moribayashi. Batting eighth and doing the catching is number 2, Hikaru Oda. Batting ninth at second base is number 0, Hiroto Kobakata. And they are going to be facing the Taiwanese right-hander. Joe C. Su is making his NPB debut tonight. And those are your lineups, and we are ready to get this one underway as the starter Koja has completed his tune-up tosses. A lot of empty seats, and not surprising, as it is the day after opening day. As Yukio Shudo comes to the plate, our friend Samurai Prayer back in the house. He says, peace and blessings to you from Osaka, and peace and blessings to you as well, as we are giving you the call tonight. So the lefty ready to go. Koja kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that's taken for a called strike. And we are underway at basically 1:01 local time. Only game that is going on right now. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Slow breaking ball taken at the knees for a called strike. And the count now goes to 0-2 on Yukio Shudo. No balls and 2 strikes. Lefty Koja working back into the windup. Kicks and delivers. Breaking ball. And that is taken for a ball outside. They appeal over to the third base umpire. And he says he didn't go. It's going to run the count to 1-2. It's a bit of a brisk day in Tohoku. The third base umpire has got the balaclava on as the lefty is ready to deliver again. He works very quickly. There's a fastball at the knees taken for a called third strike. Shudo, watch that one go by, and he's going to be gone for out number 1 here to begin the ball game. So one quick out, and that is going to bring up the left fielder in Kensuke Kondo. Well, for Kondo on the season, he's 5 for 14. He's got a homer and 4 RBIs. As he steps to the plate here to face the lefty. Pretty much the same lineup here tonight for the Fukuoka Ball Club. Only one slight change. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. Nomura, who got the start at shortstop last night. It is Kenta Imamiya in the place of Nomura. So 1 ball and no strikes to Kondo. Lefty-lefty matchup as Koja delivers. It is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-1. Defensively tonight for Tohoku from left to right field, Sato's in left, Tatsumi in center. The right fielder is Ogo. As Kondo waits on the offering from the lefty who delivers, it is a fastball swung on, grounded through the 4-hole into right field past the glove of Kobakata. And Kondo is aboard with a base hit, and that is going to bring up the right fielder in Tetsuro Yanagamachi. Well, We'll finish off the rest of the defense for you for the Golden Eagles. Around the horn from first to third. Samura is at first. The second baseman tonight is Kobakata. At short, it's Murabayashi, and at third, it's Kurakawa with the battery of Koja and Oda. Our friend Samurai Purr says last night for the Fighters, a pitcher, it was Hosono who threw the no-no last night. There is a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. I packed it in at 7-0, and after that, after our game was done, I couldn't take it. Our game went on forever, it seemed like. I hope it doesn't go on forever tonight. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. As the lefty delivers, it's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 strike. We did have a large audience in our stream last night. A lot of people had come in and were listening to the game between these two clubs. I hope we have a return audience of a similar pedigree tonight. As the left-hander works himself to the set position, here comes the 1-1. Kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball that just misses inside, and the count now goes to 2-1 on Yanagamachi. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Not sure we're going to be able to get the game tomorrow night. We are going to be in Seattle to see the Yankees and the Mariners. So there is a possibility we might get back and get one of the games in, but I have a feeling it'll be more like Friday North American time for the Saturday games in Japan. There's a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-2 on Yanagamachi. Yanagamachi off to a decent start, 4 for 15, no homers and 3 RBIs. They really don't play the matchup game as they have a number of left-handed hitters in the lineup. When you think about it, Shudo, Kondo, Yanagamachi, Yanagita, first 4 hitters, all lefties to face the lefty. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into right center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Stopping at second is Kondo, and Yanagamachi's aboard with a single here. That's going to put runners at first and second. It's going to bring Yuki Yanagita to the plate. Well, for Yanagita, he is 6 for 17 to begin the season. No homers and a couple RBIs. I mentioned earlier on that there's speculation that this is going to be Yanagita's last season in the NPB. You never know. If he has a good solid year, they might be able to bring him back for another one. But he had hinted at retirement after this season. He has been challenged the last couple of years. He's had some injuries that have knocked him out of the lineup. Not quite the player that he was when he was 10 years ago. Or at least not quite the health of the player. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Yanagita. Our friend Samurai Purr says, it's funny to know that currently Dodgers play a March game, and the Hawks play a game in April at the same time. Yeah, that's what happens when you are a day ahead or we're a day behind. Still 9 o'clock Pacific. There's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded softly over to first. The only play is going to be to first as it is fielded by Voigt. He flips it over to first. That's going to go as a ground out, 3-1. And Yanagita has gone for the second out. Advancing to third is Kondo. Over to second is Yanagamachi, and it's going to bring the first baseman Hotaka Yamakawa to the plate. We got our friend Tyler in the house tonight. We welcome Tyler into the stream. Good to see you hanging around as we are embarking on another NPB season. So Yamakawa stepping in, 4 for 13, a couple homers and 3 RBIs already. If I remember correctly, I think it's Tyler who is in the Indianapolis area. As the lefty delivers, it's a fastball swung on. This ball is going to get lifted softly in front of the bag at second base, and they're going to field it as Kobakata. He's going to throw to first, and Yamakawa, who got jammed, is going to be retired. It's going to go as a ground out, 4-3. That is going to do it here for out number 3 in the inning. Well, they threaten to the Hawks, but they don't score. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left aboard. I can tell you this. You're in for a treat tonight. I saw Josie Siu pitch last year for the Weishuan Dragons live, and I got to tell you, he was a lot of fun to watch. I'm excited to see him pitch here again tonight in this one here for the NPB Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Stick around, everybody. We'll listen to it together in just a few. It is the Hawks, nothing, and the Eagles coming to bat. We'll be back in 30 with all the action.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. It is the debut of Josie Siu, who will take to the hill here, and it's interesting that they have anointed him with the number 18. That is the one typically and traditionally given to the ace of the staff. So we'll see if he's going to be able to live up to his billing. It is going to be Naoki Sato, the former Hawk, to come to bat. It'll be Tatsumi and Voigt to follow here, as the Eagles will get their turn to hit here in inning number 1. As Siu gets ready, he rocks into the windup and delivers a first pitch fastball on the outside corner for a called strike. That was at 95 on the gun. So no balls and 1 strike to Sato. Thing with Siu, he's not the biggest guy. They list him, if I'm not mistaken, at 5'9". Fastball swung on and fouled off right into the umpire, and the count goes to 0-2 on Sato. But he had a great stuff. He worked both sides of the plate, had excellent command. But I have to tell you, I can't recall what his secondary pitches were. But we're going to get a chance to find this out here tonight. So 2 fastballs, both for strikes, as the right-hander rocks himself into the windup. There's the 0-2. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 1-2 to Sato. I have to say, one thing that it's interesting to watch Siu. He has really, really smooth mechanics. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. He blows it right by Sato, and he's in the books for out number 1. So NPB strikeout number 1 in the books, and that is going to bring up Ryosuke Tatsumi to the plate. I've got to tell you, that last pitch was a little bit less. It was at 94. Actually, check that. It was actually at 95 on the gun. He's approaching. When I saw him last year, he sat on 97 into the 7th inning. It was really impressive. There's a fastball swung on his line to right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. And Tatsumi's aboard with a 1-out single. It's going to bring up the designated hitter in Luke Voigt. Tyler says, "Go Tribe." Of course, that is him in Indianapolis. I don't know if you got to any games yet, Tyler, or if you're planning on any. I'm hoping to have myself about probably 3 major league games in the books and maybe 3 minor league games by the end of the month, maybe an extra minor league game as well, maybe 4. So this brings Luke Voigt to the plate. Voigt batting from the right side. As the righty Siu delivers, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted to deep right field. This ball could be trouble. Back onto the warning track, and making the catch is Yanagamachi. And that is going to retire Voigt. Voigt sent that a long way, just not far enough. He's gone for the 2nd out of the inning. That's going to bring up the 3rd baseman in Fumiya Kurakawa. Tyler says they went opening day. It was a 4-1 loss. If I'm not mistaken, I think Indianapolis is the farm team for Pittsburgh, if that reminds me correctly. Or is it the team for the Guardians? I can't remember. Anyways, with that being said, it is going to bring Kurakawa to the plate. Batting from the left side here against the right-hander Siu. He kicks and delivers. There's a first pitch fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. Other than the leadoff hitter Sato, Tatsumi and Voigt swung at the first pitch they saw. Only 7 pitches so far for the Fukuoka right-hander. Kurakawa on the season 6 for 16, off to a good start. Sue fires over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner Tatsumi. Samurai Prayer says, is it raining in Sendai now? It's raining in Osaka. No, it doesn't look like there's any rain going on at the moment. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball swung on it. It's popped up over on the third base side, but it's going to drift into the stands over the dugout, and the count is 1-1 to Kurakawa. Lots of good things to be said about the Pirates organization this year at the big league level. They spent a little bit of money. Arguably, their pitching staff could be said that could be one of the best staffs in all of baseball. Or at least maybe the best young staff in all of baseball. Maybe top 5 for sure. Fastball misses in. The count's 2-1 on Kurakawa. So 2 balls and a strike. Sue ready to go again. He works himself into the set position. Here's the pitch. Fastball at the knees, taken for a called strike. The count goes even to 2-2. So 2-2 it is. We've been doing this the last few nights, so if somebody comes in, we can refer them back to the 18-minute mark. And anybody asks, where can I watch the game? On the TV schedule, KBC TV, Higashi Nippon Broadcasting. There's a fastball. It's taken for a ball. There goes the runner down to second. The throw, it's in time, and it is going to nail Tatsumi. It's going to be caught stealing 2-6. He's gone for the third out of the inning, and it'll be Kurakawa coming to bat when we return. So an unconventional 1-2-3 inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We're through 1. It is 0-0. I'm going to give you the rest of this right now. It is the Higashi Nippon Broadcasting Channel 1 and J-Sport Channel 3 doing the television. Online streaming, you can go to DAZN, you can go to Rakuten TV or Baseball Live. There you have it. Go to the 18-minute mark of our stream. You'll be able to find that for yourself. All right, everybody, we'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you for listening in on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll take a time out and come back with inning number 2 when we return after this.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be coming to bat for the Hawks. It'll be Ryoya Kurihara. Then it's going to be Taisi Makihara and Takeshi Umeno. The first pitch, breaking ball, misses outside for ball, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. 15 pitches in the first inning for Koja, as that fastball just misses down, and the count goes to 2-0. Friend Tyler says Skeens, Jones, Bubba Chandler, and then he's not sure. I think Keller's in that mix as well. As the 2-0 is delivered, it's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 3-0 on Kurihara. Kurihara off to a pretty good start this year, 6 for 14. He's got a homer and 3 RBIs. His defensive play has been a little bit dicey. As we saw, he made a couple of errors in the opener. But generally speaking, he is a decent glove over there at third base. 3-0 pitch on the way. There's a fastball that just misses outside. It's going to be ball 4. So Kurihara aboard on 4 straight pitches. That'll bring up the second baseman in Taisi Makihara. Well, for Makihara, he got himself out of the 9-hole. He's 4 for 13, no homers and a couple RBIs. We were kind of chuckling a little bit at the beginning. The batting champion from last year, batting in the 9th spot. Samurai Prayer says maybe they should move their home to Sapporo City in Hokkaido so they get a dome and don't have to worry about the weather. I think they're fine right where they're at, but it might not be a bad idea to maybe play some games in the dome, maybe a couple of times a year, especially early on. Fastball misses up and in. I often wonder, that's 5 balls in a row, by the way, to start the inning here by the lefty Koja. All of a sudden, has forgot where the strike zone is located. One of the things I often think in Major League Baseball is why they go north to play openers in late March, early April, unless the stadium has a dome. Here's the 1-0, and squaring the bunt was Makihara. He pulls back, the catcher drops the ball, and the plate umpire goes up with the right hand. Makihara can't believe it. He pulled back, thinking the pitch was going to be a ball. I kind of agree with him, and I didn't think the pitch was a strike, and then the catcher fry-panned it. Anytime a catcher clanks the ball, you got to make him earn it, catch the pitch. Makes the umpire look bad. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Lefty kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball, swung on. Lifted into shallow right field. Coming in is Ogo, backing up his Kobakata. He's going to have to come back in to make the catch. He's going to retire Makihara. He's going to be gone for the first out of the inning. The wind is blowing straight in from center field, so it's a tough wind here. So anything that gets lifted up in the air is going to be going for a bit of a swirl. It's going to be Takeshi Amino to the plate. Amino 4 for 11. Our friend Gracie Lynn in the house. Gracie Lynn says that they go because some teams have 100 years of tradition. Yeah, I get it. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 1-1 to Ameno. Samurai Prayer says, our voice doesn't sound as sore as it was last night. Oh, it was ragged. By the time we got to those 7, 8, and 9th innings, nothing I could do. In between innings, eating pretzel sticks. In between innings, having throat lozenges. In between innings, having orange juice. You name it. Nothing was working. There's a breaking ball that is down. And I stopped there by the catcher, Oda, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike to Meno. Friend Gracie Lynn has said working on a couple of things, listening in the background. We're great to have you in here, Gracie. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is to the right-handed hitting catcher. That voice is better. Last night was not very good. 4 hours. A game that didn't want to end. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1-2. I forget who it was. It might have been God is Great, or it might have been Samurai Prayer who jumped in last night and said, we were in the 7th inning as we'd been on for 3 hours, and the Dragons and the Giants were in the 5th, and they'd only been playing for an hour. Here comes the 1-2 pitch as Koja holds at the belt and now delivers. It's a fastball swung on, lifted foul over on the first base side. The count remains at 1-2. I shot my friend Gracie Lynn a picture of the stadium at University of Washington, Husky Stadium. On Saturday, I was able to partake and watch the Northwestern Wildcats and the Washington Huskies play baseball. Here comes the 1-2 pitch as the lefty kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count now goes to 2-2 on Ameno. We had all kinds of stuff last night. We had internet went down for a bit. These things were all over the map. But we're back up and running here tonight. Hopefully that doesn't happen again, knock on wood. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Lefty throws over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner, Kurihara. Kurihara does not run often, but he can run. Not exactly a stolen base machine. So 2 balls and 2 strikes as the right-handed hitting Amano waits. Lefty holds at the belt. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on, and this is lifted foul over on the first base side. The count remains at 2s. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sometimes there's another piece to this. I guess it all depends on how much yelling I do at practice with the kids. Sometimes we'll alter the voice and change a little bit, depending on how much. I say yelling, it's more along the lines if I'm giving instruction or having to speak loudly. Breaking ball swung on, grounded past the diving shortstop into left field. And that is going to be a single for Amano. So he's on a bit of a heater here. That's his 5th hit of the season. He's got a single. That's going to advance Kurihara over to second. It's going to bring up the shortstop in Kenta Imamiya. Well, Imamiya, who got the night off last night, strides to the plate. He is hitting 125 in the early going. Amano with another knock. As I said, he has really got off to a good start this year. Establishing his lead over at second is the runner Kurihara, the runner at first Amano. And Imamiya waiting here on the offering. 1 for 8 to begin the year. As Koja delivers, it is a fastball swung on, is grounded over on the right side. A nice play there by the first baseman, Asamura, diving toward the first baseline, making the play and flipping it to the pitcher, covering. That's going to go down as a ground out, 3-1. He's going to be gone for the second out of the inning as Imamiya. Advancing to third is Kurihara. Over to second is Amano. So this is kind of like the last inning, as the Hawks have runners at second and third with 2 out, but now it's going to bring the top of the order and Yukio Shudo to the plate. Well, for Shudo, he struck out looking his first time up. He is 0 for 1. 2 for 15 to start the year. He needs to find a way to get going. Important hitter in the lineup. He is the fire starter at the top of the order. Batting from the left side here against the left-handed throwing Koja. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball misses outside, and the count is quickly 1-0. He's a guy who can win games with his legs. He is a difference maker. Friend Samurai Prayer says that the Japanese national soccer team beat England last night at Wembley. Breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. Actually, I didn't know that, so thanks for sharing. I know that there have been some, not just friendlies, but also international qualifiers. I saw that the Congo beat Jamaica tonight, as we get off topic a bit. They punched their ticket for the World Cup, and I see the Italians have missed their 3rd straight World Cup. As Bosnia-Herzegovina is going to be going to play in the group with Canada and others. As that fastball is swung on and lifted foul. Count is 1-2. I think it's Canada, Qatar, Bosnia, and I forget who the other one is. So that is 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Shudo. As the lefty Koja ready to deliver again. Working to the set. Here comes the pitch. On its way, and it's a fastball down and away. The appeal to the third base umpire, but they say that Shudo didn't go. It's going to run the count even at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. We'll get a look at it there. Ooh, that was close. I'm not so sure that Shudo held up there. Well, if we had a review system, that's one thing I don't know, if they are reviewing check swings. in Major League Baseball. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. On its way, fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 2-2. Here's something I didn't know. I had no idea that this was actually a rule. So the ABS system is in play, and hitters cannot challenge positional team players. So when it's a blowout, when the Blue Jays were getting beaten up by the Rockies the other night, they brought in a positional player, Tyler Heineman, in to pitch. And there were some pitches that were not very good. And because he's a positional player, they weren't allowed to challenge. Isn't that crazy? 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed. Shuto's in the books. He's gone for out number 3. And that's going to do it here for the Hawks. They threaten again and come away with nothing. Nice defensive play by Asamura, able to save the day for the Eagles. No runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors and 2 runners left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom of the second inning. We are locked up at 0s. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few after this musical timeout. It is a 0-0 ball game, and we'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the middle third of the batting order to come to bat here for the Golden Eagles. That means Kurakawa, Ogo, and Asamura. Kurakawa was at the plate in the last half inning when Ryosuke Tatsumi got gunned down trying to steal second base. So he will lead it off here to start the second. The first pitch on the way is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Only 11 pitches in the first inning for Siu. As we said, making his NPB regular season debut tonight. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1. Our friend Samurai Prayer says that even though it was a friendly match last night, they had beaten England for the first time. That was a pretty big deal. Yeah, that's pretty cool. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded over to third. Fielded by Kurihara. He fires across the diamond, and Kurakawa is gone on a ground out 5-3. So 1 up and 1 away. It'll bring up the right fielder, Yuya Ogo. Samurai Prayer asked the question, how many times can a team use ABS in one game? Only 3 times? Well, you get to keep your challenge if you are successful. It's kind of like that. But I thought it was just 2, but you might be right. I haven't really paid too much attention to it. In fact, the game I was at on Sunday, there weren't any challenges. So here comes the first offering to the left-handed hitting Ogo. It's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. I'm a little mixed with all the technology, especially on the replays. Watching some of the basketball last weekend, and just kills the momentum of the game. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1. Now, the line is we got to make sure that we get the calls right. Well, maybe. If you want to make all the calls right, then have unlimited challenges, but that doesn't really work either. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is 1-2 to Ogo. And when you start looking at it and you say, well, if the umpires are right, let's say even 50% of the time on challenges, what difference does it make? Here's the pitch. It is a changeup swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Ogo. He's gone for the second strikeout tonight. He's out for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it up to Hideto Asamura. Maybe why it wasn't a changeup, it was a split finger pitch from Siu. I thought it looked like it had the more of a 3-finger pitch, but we got the replay, so a splitty that put him away. A lot of difference in that splitty as well. There's a first pitch breaking ball taken for a call and strike. The count's 0-1 to Asamura. Asamura 3 for 15 to begin the year. No homers and 1 RBI as the right-hander delivers again. Fastball swung on and popped foul into the seats over on the first base side. The count now 0-2 to Hideto Asamura. Sue gets himself a new baseball. We're ready to go at it again. Tomorrow night, it'll be Jose Urena making his regular season debut in the NPB against Ryosuke Atsu. So there's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Asamura. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Right-hander getting his sign again, ready to go back to work. He rocks himself into the windup, and he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Oh, he locked Asamura up. That's the third strikeout recorded by Sue, and Asamura gone for the third out of the inning. They go in order to the Golden Eagles. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. Your scores were through 2 complete. It is the Hawks, 0, and the Eagles, 0. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Be right back after this musical timeout and one of Gracie's favorite jingles. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the top half of inning number 3. That is going to be Kondo, Yanagamachi, and Yanagita. Koja is turning into an escape artist here tonight, much like Kenta Maeda was last night. Hawks have stranded 4 runners aboard in the first 2 innings, so this is starting to look like a repeat performance. Got to find some clutch hitting here. They did last night at the right time, but way too many guys stranded on base as the first pitch is a fastball taken for a call and strike. The count is 0-1. Our friend Samurai Prayer says there's some notorious umpires in the NPB, and they need to be able to get some of this ABS and get it there quickly. Yeah, they're definitely. I mean, one thing that doesn't really help is the balls and strikes. What I look for when I'm watching a game on whether it be television or whatever else, I don't need the box on TV. Kind of look at where the catcher sets up. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-1. And then where the glove works, that sort of idea. Because usually if you were getting the right behind the pitcher, it would be right in line with the pitcher. You'd see his back. Of course, the camera angles are offset. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded up the middle, and it's going to just get past the glove of Kobakata into center field. And Kondo was aboard with his second hit tonight. He's got a leadoff single here to start the third. I'll bring up the right fielder in Tetsuro Yanagamachi. So when you have the angle of where the camera is set, it does provide a bit of a problem or a challenge to be able to see exactly where the angle is for where the baseball is, that's for sure. So that is going to be a knock for Kondo. Kondo off to a heck of a start, 7 for 16 now to start the year. Just needs a couple of more to go with him. So this is Yanagamachi at the plate, who singled his last time. A ground ball up the middle. Kobakata gets it. They go to second for one, back to first, and the throw is offline. And a nice play there by Asamura to save the error as he'd come off the bag. It's going to be a fielder's choice. It's going to go 4-6 to erase Kondo for the first out. Yanagamachi safe on the backside. That's going to bring Yuki Yanagita to the plate. Well, for Yanagita, 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded the first his last time up. Nice play there by the middle infielder Kobakata, but they just weren't able to turn it quick enough. Here comes the first offering. Breaking ball misses down to Yanagita. Count is 1-0. I'd like to see, other than Kenta Imamiya and Kawase, not too many other bunts I've witnessed so far from the Hawks this year. And we were saying the other night, seems like we're seeing a lot of the Hawk games. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Count is 1-1. There's a small chance we'll be back on the airwaves tomorrow to do the game. I say small because I'm going to be in Seattle again to see the Yankees and the Mariners. Schlitter versus Kirby. 1-1 on the way. It is a fastball that misses down and in, and the count now goes to 2-1 on Yanagita. And then the Friday game in the NPB, we're going to stay off of that one. And then we get to the weekend. And what are we looking at on the weekend potentially? As there's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count now goes even to 2-2. Probably looking at doing the series between the Buffaloes and the Fighters. That would be Friday, North American time, Saturday in Japan. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. As the lefty delivers, it's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Then the Sunday game in Japan, not really sure that one, which we're going to do. Probably stay with the Fighters and the Buffaloes. Although we could do the Lions and the Golden Eagles. That's a later start. I'll have to make a decision on that. That'll be Saturday North American time or Sunday in Japan. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep right field. This ball could be trouble. Back on the track, leaping, and it's gone. A home run for Yuki Yanagita, a 2-run shot. And the Hawks have opened up the scoring here with a 2-0 lead over the Golden Eagles. It's been brewing, and finally the whistle blew. And that tells you that the kettle is ready, and that is a 2-run homer for Yanagita. The Hawks had stranded 2 in the first. They stranded 2 in the second and got another runner on here. And finally able to open up the scoring off the bat of Yanagita. That's going to bring Hotaka Yamakawa to the plate. Hawks and the Swallows, the only 2 undefeated teams left in the NPB. They're looking to continue this start to the season. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Top of the 3rd inning, and the Hawks flexing their muscles. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball waved at and missed. Oh, Yamakawa. He looked sick on that one, that is for sure. 1 ball and 1 strike. That tells me he was probably guessing at the pitch. So the lefty Koja again back to work, kicks and delivers, fastball swung on. This is belted into deep left center field. This ball could be trouble. Moving back onto the warning track and making the catch is the center fielder Tatsumi. Just missed it, did Yamakawa, as he's disappointed as he heads back to the dugout. So he's gone for out number 2, and it's going to leave it all up to Ryoya Kurihara. This is the only game going on right now in the NPB. As we mentioned, there are other games that will go off a little bit later. Everything will start at 6 o'clock local time, except for the game between the Fighters and Marines, which is 6:30. As that fastball swung on and sliced down the left field line, but it's going to reach the seats in foul territory, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Kurihara. 2-0 Hawks have the lead on a 2-run homer by Yuki Yanagita, as the lefty Koja rocks and delivers. Fastball taken at the knees for called strike, and the count now goes to 0-2 on Kurihara. Kurihara off to a pretty good start, as we said, 6 for 14 on the year. Homer and 3 runs batted in. There's a breaking ball that misses down. Count goes to 1-2. And right now, it's kind of a team effort. Not everybody is producing right now for the Hawks, but that's usually a good sign when a group of players are putting it together, and some of the others will pick it up when they start to get hot. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded up the middle, and it's going to have eyes and get into center field just past the glove of Kobakata. So Kurihara aboard with a 2-out single. That's going to bring up Taisi Makihara to the plate. Well, for Makihara, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He had popped out to the second baseman his first time up. You count the number of lefties in the lineup for the Hawks. And by my count, I got 6. So 6 lefties in the lineup to face a lefty. Sure wouldn't see that in North America. Heck, you barely see that left-handed hitters or right-handed hitters against righties. There's a fastball swung on. It's going to get lined into left field. He started in, he stopped, he come in again, and he stopped again, and then the ball fell in front of the left fielder, Sato. It was not very confident the way that he played that. So back-to-back singles here. That's going to bring the pitching coach out here to talk to Koja. This is going to bring Takashi Ameno to the plate. So runners at first and second with 2 gone. And 2 on the board. We'll take that moment here to update our banner. As we mentioned, the Hawks with these 2 runs courtesy of the home run by Yanagita. Well, that conference is now over, and we're ready to go back to the action. 2-0 Hawks here, top of the 3rd inning. Makihara getting his lead over at first, Kurihara over at second. And Umeno, who has been swinging the hot stick, 5 for 12 now to get going here in the early going. We were saying in the first game of the season, we're saying that would probably be a spot that they could use some production is from the catcher spot. First pitch, breaking ball swung on. It is looped down the first base line. Over to make the catch is Asamura in foul territory. And that is going to retire Amano. He got jammed on the hands. He wasn't able to get around on that one, but he's going to be gone for the 3rd out of the inning. Well, we had a couple of runs in the inning on 4 hits. There was no errors and 2 runners left aboard. That is 6 left stranded so far for the Hawks in the first 3 innings for them. Your score as we move to the bottom of the 3rd, it is the Hawks with a 2-0 lead over the Eagles. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few right after this musical timeout. It is a 2-0 scoreline for the Hawks, courtesy of Yuki Yanagita. We'll be back in just a few after this from our friend Steve, who's enjoying a beverage.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game. Really exciting. Lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the bottom third of the batting order. That means Tsuki Moribayashi, Hikaru Oda, and Hiroto Kobakata to come to bat here to face Joe Sisue, who begins his third inning of work. The first pitch fastball is swung on, and it's popped up over on the first base side. It's going to reach the seats, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Moribayashi. 4 for 15 to start the year for Moribayashi. As he steps in, he's going to get a long run out at first base as Rui Munyama out for a while. If I remember correctly, I think he got hit in the hand. It was off the knob of the bat. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-hander against the right-hander. Sue works himself into the windup. The Taiwanese right-hander delivers fastball swung on and line foul into the seats down the right field line, and the count goes to 1-2. Sue inked himself a 3-year deal with the Hawks in the offseason. There was talk that he might be, Major League Baseball teams were interested in him, but they weren't really willing to give him a full-on deal. They didn't think he was going to start. So it's an opportunity to come to the NPB. Fastball down, and the count goes to 2-2. But with the 3-year deal, it means he's 27 years old when his contract is up. And if he pitches well in the NPB, that takes him right in his prime, potentially over to Major League Baseball. So if he can stay healthy and he can keep pitching and doing the things that he has to do, he's got a chance. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. On the way, fastball swung, chopped softly up the middle, fielding it to Imamiya. He's got to hurry, throw to first, and they're able to get Moribayashi. It was a bang play. He had to come in, did Imamiya. He had to field it almost across his body. But he's able to make the play. That's going to go down as a ground out 6-3. He's in the books for out number 1. That's going to bring Hikaru Oda to the plate. Well, for Oda, 4 for 10 to start the year. Another catcher who is not necessarily known for his offensive prowess. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball missing up and away, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. This is game 5 of the season. There has been no rainouts to my knowledge yet here in the NPB. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the first base side, and it counts 1-1. Everybody has played their allotment of games. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Oda as he waggles the bat, waiting on the offering from Sue. One thing I will say is that there doesn't look like there's a lot of movement on the fastball. That fastball misses inside. The count is 2-1. You see some pitchers, and they got a lot of late life, a lot of movement on the pitch. Ball darts and sinks and does all kinds of different things. Well, I don't see that with the right-hander Sue here. It's not to say that's not the case. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul over down the right field line, and the count goes to 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the right-hander ready to go again. He takes his breath and he works himself into the windup. Here comes the 2-2 offering. Pitch on the way, fastball misses inside, and the count now goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Sue getting that sign from his catcher. Here comes the payoff pitch to Oda. Fastball just misses inside. That's going to be ball 4. Sue, I don't think particularly liked the call. It's going to be the first base runner since the single by Tatsumi. It's going to bring Hiroto Kobakata to the plate. We get a look at the replay of that one a little bit more straight over the top, and I think the umpire got that one right. Like the ball head ran a little bit too much inside. So that brings Kobakata to the plate. As Kobakata steps in, batting from the left side, 1 for 9 to start the year. Right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Kind of steps back in, taps both sides of the dish. As the right-hander, getting his sign from his catcher, works himself to the belt. Now the pitch on the way. There's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Crowd is in good spirit in Tohoku. As the left-handed hitting Kobakata waits. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and knifed foul down the third baseline. The count goes now to 1-2. It was good old-fashioned hardball, 4-seam fastball right down the chute. And just fighting it off there was Kobakata. I always like Kobakata. I like the way that he plays. He goes on at times where he really gets on a roll. But I have to say he's probably not necessarily a ringleader. This is probably the right spot for him. Be a support player on a good team. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2. He came up. He played a lot of shortstop when he first got to the top flight. It's Brice Vutian, I think is the name. He says, I put 2,000 on the Hawks. 2,000 what? Australian dollars? 2,000 yen? Pitch 1-2 on the way. It's a fastball that misses down. They appeal to the third base umpire, but they say that Kobakata didn't go. It's now 2-2. I would say this, that we picked the Hawks tonight. As I said, with Sue on the mound. I might want to look at tomorrow. As I said, it's going to be, I think it was Otsu against Urania. I might go with Urania tomorrow night. Don't know if the Hawks will complete the sweep here. 2-2 on the way. There is a breaking ball that's tapped in front of home plate, but the home plate umpire says it's a foul ball. Got to keep the count at 2-2 on Kobakata. He only threw 22 pitches in the first 2 innings. He's had to work here. He's up to 17 already in this inning and counting. He says, US dollars, brother. Well, that's good for you. I don't know if you have it on to cover or on money line. As the 2-2 pitch on the way, there's a fastball that just misses inside, and the count now runs full to Kobakata. They peel over to the third base umpire, and again, they say that he didn't go. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Money line, yeah. Not sure what the money line was paying out at this point. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. I always guess if it was before the game, I would have figured maybe 1.5 on the Hawks, maybe. 1.45, depending on where you get your odds at. So 3 balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander again works himself into the set. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed. The throw down to second. And is it in time? Yes, it is. It's going to be a strike him out, throw him out. It's a double play. And so that is going to retire Kobakata for out number 2. And it's going to go caught stealing 2-6 on the putout. It's the second caught stealing here tonight in this one. Nice throw by Imeno to retire the side. An unconventional 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. And your score here is the Hawks with a 2-0 lead as we go to the fourth. We'll be right back in just a few. Hang with us, everybody. It is the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel, giving you all the coverage of the NPB tonight. Be right back in just a bit.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the fourth inning. Slated to come to bat is Kenta Imamiya, Yukio Shudo, and Kensuke Kondo to face the left-hander Koja, who is rocking into the windup and delivers. The first pitch is a fastball that misses up for ball one, and the count is 1-0. Imamiya 0 for 1 tonight, grounded to first his first time up. He is 1 for 9 on the early going as the left-hander kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. We're talking earlier on, we were saying about the ABS system in the United States, in Major League Baseball, that when a position player comes in, they can't challenge. So there was a pitch that was delivered the other night by the Blue Jays pitcher that was, I forget how far above the batter, as that breaking ball misses. It's now 3-0 to Imamiya. And I don't know about that. I think it's kind of wrong that that's even a thing. Care who's on the mound. I think at that point, I think you want the game to move along. There's a fastball at the knees taken for a called strike. The count is 3-1. So I found that fascinating that was the case. Left-hander ready to go again. Rocks and delivers. Fastball swung on, grounded foul just over on the third baseline. And that's going to run the count full to Imamiya. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Gracie Lynn says she's back. And she says to talk about the greatest thing to happen to baseball in decades, the introduction of the ABS. Either that or time to get rid of C.B. Buckner, as he had quite the weekend. Here comes the 3-2 pitch as the lefty kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and it's fouled right into the feet of the hitter. And the count remains at 3-2. I forget how many challenges he had. I guess somebody had to pass the torch from Angel Hernandez to CB. Somebody's got to carry the mail now. Here comes the 3-2 offering as the lefty delivers. Fastball swung on. This ball's lined into left field. Started in, and then he had to go back, and now making the catch is Sato. Sato, the word I would use for him out in left field tonight is confused. We saw him earlier when there was a base hit that had dropped in off the bat of, I believe it was Yannick Amachi or whoever it was earlier, that he started in, he stopped, he started in, he stopped. I don't know if he's having a hard time picking the ball up off the bat, but he's definitely not made it look easy out there in left field. Gone for out number 1 is Imamiya. And that is going to bring up the top of the order. The first pitch is a fastball swung on by Shudo. lifted into left field. Sato moving over toward the foul line, still moving, and he makes the catch. And that's what happens is the player who is struggling out there becomes a magnet. The ball knows that the wind is blowing straight in from center field. Our friend Gracie Lynn says CB Buckner is going to rage and quit any day now. Well, we'll find out. There's a fastball that is swung on and lifted foul over on the third base side. The count is 0-1. Had 11 calls overturned. I haven't really seen anything. I just know that the Tigers blew, I think, a 5-0 lead to the Diamondbacks. They just couldn't stop the bleeding. Wasted a good start by Casey Mize. I saw that Shohei Ohtani went 6 one-hit innings. As the 0-1 is on the way, there's a fastball taken at the east for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2 on Kondo. But I haven't really looked in on the Major League results so far tonight. At this point, here comes the 0-2 pitch. Fastball just misses outside, and the count goes to 1-2 on Kondo. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, the lefty working himself into the windup here. 1-2 on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line. It's going to reach the seats. Count remains at 1-2. A far better clip tonight than last night. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kondo. As the lefty kicks and delivers, it is a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Koja looking to try to get his first 1-2-3 inning here. I want to speak that into existence. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on, grounded softly over to third. Fielded neatly by the third baseman, Kurakawa. He throws to first. That's going to be a ground out, 5-3. And Kondo gone for the third out of the inning, and that'll do it here in inning number 4. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. Your score as we are now moving to the bottom of the 4th. It is a 2-0 Hawks lead. Stick around. We'll be right back in a couple minutes. Gracie Lynn's firing up. Her fingers are getting hot to the keyboard. We've lit her up tonight. And we appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back in just a few right after this.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just 1 roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. It's a little bit funny as Joe C. Seo is on the hill here, and somebody in the crowd has cut out faces of him with the Weishuan Dragons hat on as they were holding it up. So that is pretty creative way of celebrating their Taiwanese pitcher, who through the first 3 innings has faced the minimum. He has allowed a walk and a hit. The first pitch to Naoki Sato is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. The right-hander rocking into the motion. He kicks and he fires. There is a split-finger pitch swung on and missed. Sato's now in the hole at 0-2. 4 strikeouts for the Taiwanese right-hander here through the first 3 innings. As the right-hander ready to go again. Rocking and delivering. Pitch on the way. Fastball just misses outside. Count goes to 1-2. So he is the real deal, is Sue. If you get a chance to watch his highlights, that is for sure. Our friend Gracie Lynn said, I saw that on the call. They said it was the biggest cheer. It was, I think, when Eugenio Suarez was batting. Breaking ball misses up, and the count goes to 2-2 on Sato. Because he punched him out. Then he went to the ABS, punched him out again, challenged it again. And the crowd went bananas. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. Fastball swung on, and it's going to be pop foul into the stands on the first base side of home plate. The count remains at 2-2. Gracie Lynn says it's her last night in Costa Rica for a little while as her flight heads back tomorrow just after 2 p.m. I don't know what the weather is like in Alabama, but we got some beautiful weather for the next 10 days coming up here. There's a split figure pitch swung on, grounded softly to short. Fielded by Imamiya, who throws to first, and Sato is in the books on the ground out 6-3. He's gone for out number 1. That is going to bring up the center fielder in Ryosuke Tatsumi. Well, for Tatsumi tonight, he has the only hit for the Eagles, but he was erased when he was gunned down trying to steal second base back in the first inning. So he is 1 for 1 tonight, 0 for 1 in the stolen base department. As the right-hander delivers, there's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is quickly 1-0 to Tatsumi. 5 for 13 to begin the year is the left-handed hitting center fielder of the Eagles. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-0. Gracie says she's not going to Alabama. So San Jose, Costa Rica to Phoenix, to Phoenix via Dallas, then Phoenix to Long Beach, then zigzagging across the country. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 2-1. It's a lot of frequent flyer miles being mounted up. Right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded through the 6-hole into left field. So Tatsumi has unlocked the key to success against Sue. He's got both of the hits for the Golden Eagles tonight. And that is going to bring Luke Voigt to the plate. Well, for Voigt, he had a heck of a swing his first time up as he launched the ball to deep right field. He went the other way with it. The ball was caught on the warning track. But he is 0 for 1 in this one. So Voigt stepping in. Batting from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Sue. Here comes the pitch. Instead, Sue throws over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner. Wind blowing in, straight in from center field. There's a breaking ball swung on, and it's grounded foul over on the third base side. Count now, no balls and 1 strike to Voigt. I was saying last night that Voigt was major instant impact for this ball club last year. He came in and really produced. And if he's able to do anything like he did in 2025, it'll keep the Eagles relevant for a long time in the Pacific League. Split finger pitch misses down. They appeal to the first base umpire. They say Voigt didn't go, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. But I have to be honest and say I think it's the pitching of the Golden Eagles that's their Achilles heel. I don't know if I like their arms enough. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 2-1. And in some ways, if I said, what's the difference between the Eagles and the Dragons from the Pacific League? To me, it's easy. It's the starting pitching of the Dragons. Far better than what they have up in the Sendai region, but it's early. That's why we play the games. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. on its way. It is a fastball swung on. It is lined down the left field line, and it's just going to hook foul. Voigt got the barrel head out on it. He just hook barreled it. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to the American designated hitter. Jonathan Garcia in the house. He says, nice, let's go Hawks. Gracie's going to go to the Brave Diamondbacks series, 4-game set, and the Brave Angels for 3 games. As time has been called and the home plate umpire jumps out. Gracie Lynch said, yeah, there was a no-hitter in the NPB last night. Yeah, it was the Fighters. Our friend Samurai Prayer was talking about it earlier. First one of the season. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Sue kicks and delivers. It's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. Oh, that was nasty. Voigt down on strikes for the second out of the inning. 5th strikeout recorded by Sue here, and that's going to bring up the third baseman in Fumiya Kurikawa. Well, let's see if they can do it again. When Kurikawa was up his last time, they tried to move Tatsumi into scoring position. He got gunned down. So far, both of the base runners that the Eagles have been caught stealing tonight. Mano is putting on a clinic. Here comes the first pitch. Breaking ball misses inside, and the count is 1-0 to Kurikawa. Kurikawa off to a pretty good start this year, as he is 6 for 17 in the early going. As Sue throws over to first base, and diving back in time is Tatsumi. Right-hander ready to go again. He gets the sign. He shakes off his catcher a couple of times. Throws over to first base, and diving back again in time is the runner Tatsumi. I was saying earlier, it'll be Schlitter versus Kirby tomorrow down in Seattle. Get a chance to go see the Mariners again, second time in about 4 days. Breaking ball misses outside, and the count goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Soon out up to 58 pitches here, as the right-hander works himself into the set position. Here comes the 2-0 offering. Pitch on the way. Fastball taken at the knees for called strike, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike it is. Right-hander against the left-hander, as the righty Sue checks the runner over at first base. Now he kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. Again, the right-hander. Ready to make the offering here to the left-handed hitting Kurikawa. Fastball swung on, lined into right field. This ball could be trouble if it stays fair, and it is just going to hook foul. Oh boy, that would have been extra bases, and the way Tatsumi runs, he might have been able to score all the way from first. He got the barrel head out for sure, but he just hooked it foul. And the count remains at 2-2 to Kurikawa. Again, Tatsumi establishing his lead over at first. What crowd there is, they are trying to cheer on their home team. There's a fastball swung on and missed. Another strikeout here for Sue. That, by our counts, and this one is number 6, as Kurikawa goes in the books for the 3rd out of the inning. No runs in the inning, 1 hit, no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We're now moving to the top of the 5th inning. Your score is the Hawks 2 and the Eagles no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the 5th inning, and it'll be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters to come to bat for the Hawks. That means Tetsuro Yanagamachi, Yuki Yanagita, and Hotaka Yamakawa to get things going here. Koja at 69 pitches through his 4 innings of work. Yeah, Fighters no hit the Marines last night. Absolutely. And that is exactly it. And Jonathan, no need for apologizing. He says, let's go Hawks. It's not just a one-way conversation. Gracie Lynn just is her chatty as some of the others are at times. And that's all good. First pitch fastball is taken for called strike. The count's 0-1 to Yanagamachi. Yanagamachi is officially 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single and he's bounced into a fielder's choice. And he came home on the 2-run homer by Yanagita back in inning number 3. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. Count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Yanagamachi 6 for 17 to start the year. As the left-hander kicks and delivers. Fastball down, and it gets all the way to the backstop, and the count now goes to 2-1. Jonathan says, what do you think the final score is going to look like here? You think they could keep the foot on the gas offensively? Yeah, I do, because I don't think that the pitching for the Eagles is particularly good. 2-1 on the way. Fastball swung on, it's chopped in front of the plate. Koja off the mound to field it. He picks it up and fires to first. It's going to be a ground out 1-3. Yanagamachi in the books for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up Yuki Yanagita to the plate. Well, for Yanagita, he is 1 for 2 tonight. The big blow, the 2-run homer in the 3rd inning has been all the scoring. The other thing, and just to keep in mind here, as Jonathan asked the question, is that the Hawks have stranded 6 runners on base through the first 4 innings. It has been their Achilles heel is the lack of clutch hitting. They had a chance last night to really blow the game apart, and they've had a chance here to put some serious runs on the board as that breaking ball is swung on and missed. Counts 0-1 to Yanagita. And it's like they've squandered the opportunity to do so. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball misses down. Count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, Yanagita stands really tall in the box, extending his hands away as the 1-1 on the way. Fastball swung on and missed. Count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yanagita waggling the bat here again. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Yanagita in the books. He's gone for the 2nd out of the inning, and that's going to leave it up to the first baseman in Hotaka Yamakawa. Much better pace on this game tonight, as we were talking about as a whole. Last night we were laughing. We said 7 innings deep for 3 hours, and the game between the Giants and the Dragons was 5 innings in only an hour. our friend Chris over in Britain, who was listening in on the delay. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. He was chuckling on how I was lamenting about the fact of the pace of the game. As the pitch is a breaking ball that swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2. Our Moans J400 said this one isn't on Riz. So thanks for being the only source. Well, we appreciate you for listening in. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. As Yamakawa watches that fastball sail way upstairs, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to the big fella. Again, the lefty Kojo working himself to the windup, and here comes the pitch. As a slow breaking ball that misses way upstairs, the count now is 2-2. So back again to our original question is that somebody said a few minutes ago about where do you think the Hawks are going to do? They got to start getting some clutch hits, though, with the guys on base. There's a ball that's swung at and chopped softly down the third base line, but it rolls foul, and the count remains at 2-2 to Yamakawa. Especially in the first 3 innings when they had an opportunity to really go at Koja. But the other thing is, too, is I think you want to get into the Eagle bullpen. The sooner, the better. Right now, 82 pitches for the left-hander. You may be able to give him one more inning, but he'll be getting into the Eagle pen. I think that's what you want. Fastball swung on and lifted foul, and the count remains at 2-2. I think a few years ago when they had Yuki Matsui, they had Chihao Song, they had a couple other relievers. They had Enraku, who ended up literally getting kicked out of the league. Not quite. He ended up in the Mexican League. 2-2 on the way. Breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is full. I guess he was doing something. He was really harassing one of his teammates. He basically ended up releasing him because of that. They fired him because of his treatment to one of the other players. Here comes the 3-2 pitch as the lefty delivers. Breaking ball swung on, grounded softly over to third, fielded by Kurakawa. He's got the time, shuffles, delivers a perfect throw, and that's going to end it here for Yamakawa. He's gone on a ground out 5-3 for out number 3, and that's going to do it here in the 5th inning for the Hawks. They go in order, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're moving now to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Your score is the Hawks 2, the Eagles no score. Stick around, everybody. The bottom half of inning number 5 just around the corner. Not sure what the over-under was tonight, but I got to tell you, it is probably in a spot here where it is probably going to be a chance for an under. I can't see it being much more than 2.5. We'll have to wait and see how Sioux does in the bottom of the inning. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be number 51, Yuya Ogo, to come to bat. He'll be followed by Hideto Asamura and Itsuki Moribayashi. Our friend Gracie Lynn was talking a little bit earlier about CB Buckner as that fastball is taken for a called strike. And ESPN just flashed. They said, umpire CB Buckner says Jake Bauers didn't touch the bag, but replay review shows that his head was turned the other way. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-2. Well, that's probably why he didn't touch it. He didn't see it. Anyways, no balls and 2 strikes. I guess he's going to be under some serious scrutiny here for the next little bit. So no balls and 2 strikes. As the right-hander rocks himself into the windup and delivers. There's a split finger pitch swung on it, is lifted into shallow left field, coming in hard, calling everybody off is Kondo, and he's going to make the catch. Kondo's got the balaclava pulled up all over his head. So Ogo gone for the first out of the inning, and it'll bring up the first baseman in Hideto Asamura. Well, for Asamura, he's 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out looking his first time up. 3 for 16 on the season in the 2026 campaign. As the right-hander Siu kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball missing down and away, and the count is 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes. I often say the one thing that the Asian pitchers need to have, and there's not a lot of Asian pitchers who throw it, that is a changeup. If you want to go survive in Major League Baseball, you better have a changeup. There's a fastball swung on it, is lifted into right field, racing hard, diving, and making the catch is Yanagamachi. And that is going to retire Asamura for the second out of the inning. That's 2 gone. That is what they were saying, that basically he was looking the other direction so he couldn't see and didn't know if he touched the bag or not. One of the things is it's commonplace. If you don't see something, you can't make up something. First pitch delivered to Muribayashi, taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So in other words, if it was a play where if you didn't see him touch the base, as the pitch on the way is a fastball that is check swinged and called a strike here, as Muribayashi did go around, the count is 0-2. You're supposed to, obviously, it's not supposed to penalize the player for your inability to see it. So in other words, if they appeal over that he missed the base, you have to say safe, even if he did miss it, because you didn't see it. Can't make up something that you didn't do. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. That's a fastball grounded softly towards second. Makihara fields it. He throws to first. That's a pretty quick 1-2-3 inning as Sue gets the side in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. And you know what this is? What we like to call our Japanese halftime. It's exactly what we have upon us right now. This is where we take our 5-minute break. We'll update our banner, get it back flowing underneath. It is a 2-0 lead as we move to the top half of inning number 6. We'll be back in a few minutes, everybody, as we got to go make ourselves some hot tea or some sort of hot drink to keep us going for the rest of the night. Top of the 6th, around the corner in a few. We'll put the music on loop. Hang with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a bit.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll.
Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Matt Hollis there. We had to cut that out a little bit short. We're ready to go back to the live action here in just a moment. Having a little bit of a struggle with our feed there, but our feed is back up and we are back up ready to go. It is going to be Koja who is coming back out onto the mound, as he will be taking over here yet again to come out for his sixth inning of work, as both he and the starter Sue have gone the distance so far in this one. Coming to that will be Ryoya Kurihara, Taisi Makihara, and Takeshi Umeno to face him here in the inning, as we are going to be ready to go. Lots of cherry blossoms. Our Fred Jomama back in the house. Remember him from last year. He says Golden Eagles win 4-2. Well, I have to be honest with you. I'm not sure that is going to be the case. They're going to have to find some instant offense. That seems to be the greater challenge more than anything for them here tonight, not being able to punch runs across the board. So the lefty, Koja, is just completing his tune-up tosses here. 85 pitches through his 5 innings of work. And he is going to be facing the 6, 7, and 8 hitters to come to bat for the Hawks in this one. That's another thing. The Hawks, bottom 3 in the batting order, they have been able to get on base. It's been Shuto has been a bit of a dead spot in the batting order the first couple of games of this series, as he is hitless here tonight. So Kurihara gets it going. He's been aboard twice. He's walked and singled. He's now 7 for 15 in the early going. He's hitting .467 with a homer and 3 runs batted in. As the lefty back to it, and he delivers a breaking ball. It's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So the ball's in 1 strike. As the lefty ready to go again, here comes the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball swung on, lifted into shallow left field. That's going to drop in for a base hit, and Kurihara is aboard for the 3rd time tonight, as he's got himself a single. That's going to bring up the second baseman, Taisi Makihara. Our friend says he put a couple of bucks down on it. Well, good for him. Hopefully he comes away a winner. That is the way it is. Some of the folks that like to come into the stream like to talk baseball, and some like to talk winning some extra cash, and that would be a good thing. So here is Makihara to the plate. He is 1 for 2. He has a single and 2 trips. 5 for 15 in the early going, as the left-hander Koja kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Lefty Koja ready to go back to work again. Important inning for him. I would have to think that if he can get through this one, this will probably be his last. He's got to be able to survive the 6th. That fastball misses down and away, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Game's had a decent pace to it, but usually what happens, we get into this back part here. That's the way it goes. 1 ball and 1 strike as the lefty holds to the set again. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, lined into left center field. It's going to get down for a base hit, and it's going to get cut off by the left fielder Sato. Rounding second and heading to third is Kurihara, and he is going to slide in safely on the base hit here by Makihara. And that's going to bring the pitching coach out here. Jonathan Garcia says it's going to be a big inning here for the Hawks. Well, they got trouble on their hands right now. That is for sure. As trouble is brewing. here with runners on second and third by the double by Makihara. In this ball game here tonight, that's, I believe, the 9th hit recorded by Fukuoka. If my mathematics are correct, they've got 9 hits in this one, only 2 for the Golden Eagles. But the thing is that the Hawks just haven't been able to punch the runs across. They got runners at second and third here. They need to get a clutch hit, start getting some separation if you are a fan of the Hawks. If you're the Eagles, you got to hope that Koja is going to pull a rabbit out of his hat. The infield is in. Everybody's on the grass. Amino's at the plate here, 1 for 2 tonight. And the pitch on the way is a fastball ticket for a called strike. The count's 0-1. That's the pitch I don't know if you're going to get a better pitch than that in this at bat. So no balls and 1 strike. So no balls and 1 strike it is as the lefty again works to the set position. 0-1 on the way. Fastball swung on, grounded softly past the bag, foul at third. And now the count goes to 0-2 on Umeno. So no balls and 2 strikes. Hawk catcher digs in, taps both sides of the plate. Waiting here on the offering from the lefty Koja as he holds set. 0-2 on the way. Fastball misses up and away, and the count now goes to 1-2. Good piece of pitching. I think I'm going to pound him back inside. If it was me, I'd try to move him off the plate again before we go away. Meno last time got jammed and hit the little soft little looping liner over to Asamura at first. Here comes the 1-2. Then it looks like they're going away. Fastball swung on and missed. Oh, yeah. Nice pitch there. Mano gone for the first out of the inning, and that is going to bring up the shortstop in Kenta Imamiya. Well, I got to say, if there's a time for a squeeze, this might be it. Kenta Imamiya, the all-time Pacific League sacrifice hit leader. He knows how to bunt and get it down. This might be the guy. I don't know if I'd do a full-on squeeze, maybe a safety squeeze. We'll see exactly what he's got up his sleeve here. As the lefty holds to the set, pitch on the way. Fastball hammered down the right field line. It's fair. Over to get it is the right fielder Ogo. That's going to bring a pair of runs home. And that is going to add to the lead here as Imamiya has got himself a 2-run double, and the bottom part of the batting order is abusing the Eagles pitching here tonight. The bottom third in the batting order has 4 hits, and now with the 2-run hit, that's going to bring the manager Mickey out of the dugout, and he has seen enough. And that is going to bring him out here. So 2 RBIs there for Imamiya, 95 pitches for Koja. His night's going to be done. And our friend Jomama, who was in talking some trash, he got a lot of work to do here if the Eagles are going to have use the come-from-behind method to win this one. And they're going to go to the bullpen. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Our friend Steve Rademacher to keep you guys entertained. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, where are you going? It's a pitching change. Come on, sit back down. You don't go out there. Don't go get no food or anything. You've got a big decision. Are you gonna throw in there Raleigh Fingers? Maybe Goose Gossage? How about maybe Mariano Rivera or Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley? Who knows? It's a pitching change. Come on back. You know who I would pick for this? A nice tall cool one. There's my pitcher. That's my pitching change. That's a winning combination. Come see my channel. Every day is opening day. And according to Bob, I must be in the front row. Blah.
Welcome back, everybody. It is our friend Steve Rademacher there to keep you entertained. Our friend CV in the house. Caesar, good to have you here. As you have entered the fray here tonight, as it is now a 4-0 lead. Ended up being just a single for Imami. I thought he was able to get over to second base. That ball down the line. Our friend CV says, need help. I don't know if it was the others in the stream or if you need the help. So Kenta Imamiya, the runner over at first base. It'll be the top of the order in Yukio Shudo. And it is going to bring in Chihao Sung to the plate. We were talking about him earlier when he was in his heyday a couple years ago. He was one of the setup men. So Chihao Sung, another Taiwanese arm. Song on the mound, taking over here for Koja. So the right-hander ready to go. As the right-hander holds to the set, pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line, and the count is quickly 0-1. So the ball's a 1-strike to Shudo. Shudo's had a rough night at the office tonight. He has struck out twice and flown to left. 2 for 17 to start the early season. Our friend CV says about Roki, what are the Dodgers doing with him? Fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count is 0-2. Well, that's $1 million question. I know when Roki Sasaki was pitching in the NPB, and he was pitching well. My biggest thing is that I didn't think that he had a plus fastball. He had a decent splitter. But to be a starter in the major leagues, you got to have at least 3 or 4 pitches. There's a fastball swung on, is driven into deep right field, over and falling to his knees to make the catch is Ogo. Boy, he didn't play that one very well, but he did get the out. So that is going to retire Shudo, as he is going to be gone for the second out of the inning. And that is going to leave it up to Kensuke Kondo. Anderson says, I should have bet the over 6.5 runs or under. Well, with the Eagles probably not bringing in their top guys here at the back end at some point, there's a chance this game could get out of hand. I'm not saying that Song will keep it close. But I don't, if you're down by 4 or 5 runs, you may not see the better relievers coming in on the back end. No sense of wasting your better relievers when you're in the hole 4-0. So there could be a couple more. The problem with the Hawks tonight is, just like last night, this game could be a lot bigger in score. They could be up maybe 8 or 9-0. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed, and they're having a hard time capitalizing with runners on base. In the first 3 innings, they left 6 runners aboard. And all kinds of opportunities to put runs up on the board. That's been a theme in this series. Last night, even though they won 4-2, they had a chance to stick more on the board. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted in deep left field. This ball could be trouble. Moving back onto the warning track, looking up. And there's your answer right there. It's almost at 6.5, as that's a 2-run homer off the bat of Kensuke Kondo. That's going to bring home Imamiya with the 5th run. Kondo's going to round the bases with the 6th run. And that is a now 6-0 lead here for the Hawks. 2-run shot off the bat of Kensuke Kondo. So, yeah, back to the thing here. There may be a few more runs poured on the board here late in this ballgame. That is going to bring up a right fielder in Tatsuro Yanagamachi. Now, with that being said, we have seen the Hawks score in bunches where they get a bunch of runs and then they go quiet. That's not a good thing either. There's a fastball swung on, grounded up the middle, fielded by Murray Biashi. As he moves to his left, he fires to first, and that's going to retire Yanagamachi. Ground out 6-3 for the 3rd out of the inning, and that'll do it here. They send 7 batters to the plate, 4 runs in the inning on the benefit of 4 hits. There was no errors, and there was nobody left aboard. The big blow, the Kensuke Kondo 2-run shot, to cap this one off. And it is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat in just a few. Our friend R. Hamon says our home runs still up across the league. I think it's starting to flatten out a little bit. It wasn't like the opening weekend where balls were flying out all over the place. Seems like things have settled down a little bit. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the bottom half of inning number 6, and it's going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat. And that'll be Hikaru Oda, Hiroto Kobakata, and Naoki Sato to face the starter Siu, who threw 71 pitches through his first 5 innings. First pitch fastball misses inside, and the count is quickly 1-0. Our home runs still look up across the league. Before today's game, I took a look, and there were 24 games played in the NPB, and this is off the top of my head. I think there were 35 home runs hit in the first 24 games, so you're looking at just below 1.5 a game. 1 ball and 2 strikes right now here to Oda. Sue ready to go back to work again. And there's a breaking ball swung on, grounded softly up the middle. Emamila fields it, moving it to his left, and he's going to fire to first. It's a ground out, 6-3. Oda in the books for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up the second baseman in Hiroto Kobakata. Gracie Lynn said the Marlins are 4-1. Are you starting to believe me that they're a playoff team? No, not after 5 games. This brings Kobakata to the plate, who was 0 for 1 tonight. He was part of a strike him out, throw him out his last time up. Fastball swung on. This is going to be lined over the head of the leaping second baseman, Makihara. He's going to get down for a base hit. Kobakata picking up his second hit of the year. That'll bring up the top of the order in Naoki Sato. Yeah, still not convinced. Season's early. But that being said, if they are in a position before the trade deadline, if they're still hanging around in July, they might be buyers and not sellers. With the team as it is right now, no. Here's the first offering. It's a breaking ball that just misses down to Sato. Sato tonight is 0 for 2. He has struck out and grounded out in his 2 trips to the plate. 5 for 11 in the early going. As the pitch is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Our friend Gracie Lynn says, why do the NPB officials hate the home runs so much? They actually don't. They're the ones who want to juice the ball and get the balls flying out all over the place. And they think the fans like the long ball. Well, if you've watched Major League Baseball, it's a strike 'em out, throw 'em out festival. There's a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. The count is 1-2. I forget what it was when Emerson Hancock, who is our friend Gracie likes for the Mariners, he struck out, I think it was 10 through 5 innings the other night. They ended up striking out, I think it was the Mariners ended up striking out, what was it, 19 Guardians? Or their pitching staff did. Something crazy like that. Or was it 15 or 16? The pitch is down. The game has become a strike 'em out home run type contest, and there's not a lot of action on the in-between. So two things have to happen. Maybe either you got to enlarge the ballparks a little bit more in Major League Baseball to encourage more hitting, more balls being hit into the gaps or whatever else, or get back to making the ballparks where they were reasonable side. And there's a pitch that misses down. It's now 3-2. Our friend Gracie Lynn said Hancock was good last year. Yeah, I still think that he is on borrowed time. I've got video of him pitching, and that arm action has got Tommy John written all over it. I don't want to predict ill will on the guy, but boy, oh boy, that is one ugly motion. There's a fastball misses up. The throw down to second, it's not going to be in time. It squirts away from the shortstop Imamiya. It's going to be a stolen base for Kobakata. That's going to be his first of the year. Or is it? Or is that ball 4 to Sato? The throw might have been all for naught. Or did he swing through that one? I didn't get what had happened on that. Put the runner in motion potentially to stay out of the double play. Yeah, Gracie Lynn said that the more major league teams are moving the fences in. Yeah, I don't want that. I want to play baseball. You know, all of a sudden here we got all these home run records, and you got to put asterisks next to them because you're got the other part. It's, by the way, it was ball 4 to Sato. He's aboard with the walk. It's not a stolen base for Kobakata because even though they threw down, the batter had made it. So the first pitch to Tatsumi is swung on and fouled away. No balls and one strike here. Tatsumi is 2 for 2 tonight. He's got a pair of hits for the Eagles. He's got 2 of the 3. Anderson said, are the Hawks still at bat? No, it's the bottom of the inning. Fastball misses inside, and the count now 1-1 on Tatsumi. That's an interesting fact about Holmes. I guess it all depends on the size of the tear. You can rehab it. I had a player that had played for me, and then he went away. And then he ended up, when he got older, had a partial tear, and he missed time, but you didn't have to require the surgery. As that pitch is taken for a called strike, the count's 1-2 on Tatsumi. So I guess it depends on the size of the tear and if they think they can rehab it. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. On its way, fastball misses inside. Count now goes to 2-2. We took the kid. He hadn't pitched in his life. Was more of an outfielder, third baseman, put him on the mound, trying to correct his mechanics as he really threw across his body. You got to remember that R.A. Dickey didn't even have the ligament. Here's the 2-2. Fastball swung on, grounded up the middle. They go to second for 1, back to first. And that's going to be an inning-ending double play. It's going to go in the books as a 6-4-3 variety. And that is going to do it here for the Eagles in their half of the inning. Well, they had no runs in the inning. They did have a hit. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We're now through 6 complete. Your score is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks with a 6-0 lead over the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few after this musical timeout. Stay with us. back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the bottom half of the 7th inning, and we'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action right after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It looks like we've got another pitching change for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. It is going to be number 29. We saw him last night. This is Chihiro Tanaka as he is completing his tune-up tosses here. So he is coming on to get some work in. So it is a 6-0 lead here for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. And this one is... question came up earlier. Do you think that they're going to pour on some more runs? Well, as I mentioned, when you're down by a touchdown without the extra point, there's probably a chance when you're getting into the parts of the bullpen that may not be the best ones to lock down games. That's my biggest concern for the Eagles this year is their ability to pitch. Anderson says, what do you guys think? Will the Hawks record another run in this inning? I don't know about this inning, but I think that it is on the docket here that they aren't going to get one. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. The count is 0-1 to Yanagita. Yanagita tonight is 1 for 3. He homered in the 3rd inning. He also has struck out and grounded out. 7 for 20 on the season, off to a good start. Pitch on the way. Split figure pitch swung on and fouled right up into Yanagita. It looked like it hit him in the shoulder. Yeah, the Detroit Tigers tonight had a 5-0 lead and then all of a sudden forgot how to pitch. And forgot how to hit. The Diamondbacks ended up beating them tonight. I don't know. Last time I looked in, the Diamondbacks roared back with about 7 or 8 runs. So no balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander holds to the set. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Yanagita for the 2nd time tonight via the strikeout. He's gone for out number 1 here, and that'll bring up Hotake Yamakawa to the plate. Well, for Yamakawa, he's officially 0 for 3 in this one. He has grounded out twice and flown out to center field. As Tanaka works to the belt, now delivers. There's a breaking ball down. Count is 1 ball and no strikes to Yamakawa. Big fella's already got a couple of home runs this year. He is as streaky as they come. He's hitting .250 on the year now, 4 for 16. When he gets going, he could carry a team for a week or two. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Count is 1-1 now. His big time hack. Friend CV says Jose Fernandez from the Visalia Rawhide of 2023 debuted and homered today. As there's a pitch that misses down. The count now goes to 2-1. Tracy Lynn says not used to seeing the Diamondbacks make their comebacks as they had 47 blown leads in the 7th inning or later last year. There's the 2-1 pitch. There's a split figure pitch that's waved at and missed, and the count now goes to 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tanaka on a relief here has been effective so far. 2-2 on the way. Fastball taken for a called 3rd strike. Yamakawa stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by for out number 2. He's going to leave it all up to Ryoya Kurihara. So 2 in the books here. Kurihara coming to the plate. He has been a offensive producer here for the Hawks. He's got a pair of hits and a walk tonight, reached base all 3 times. He has also scored a run. So 2 for 2 on the evening. 8 for 16 to begin the year. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, lined into right center field. It's going to get down for a base hit and keeps the band playing for Kurihara as he's got himself another knock. That's a pretty good start. He could get himself in line for a Player of the Week award. As they are halfway through, I think what they'll do is they'll run this week and last week together. I don't think the 3 games to start the season constitute the full week. Gracie Lynn said Jose Fernandez hit 2 homers, including the game winner in his MLB debut. It's a good start to your career. Here's the first pitch. Breaking ball misses down and into Taisi Makihara. Makihara is 2 for 3 today. He's got a single, a double. He scored a run. Also popped a second. He's now 6 for 16 on the early going. No homers and a couple RBIs. As the right-hander works himself into the set position, here comes the 1-0. On the way, breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-1 on Makihara. 2 gone here in the top of the 7th inning. The runner at first is Kurihara. Hawks enjoying a 6-0 lead as the right-hander Tanaka works himself to the belt. Now the pitch on the way. Breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Tanaka has come in and been fairly effective so far. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on, line softly over to the shortstop as Murray Biashi drops to a knee to make the catch, and that is going to do it, as that is going to retire the side here for the 3rd out. Well, they had no runs in the inning. There was the hit, no errors, and there was a runner left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom of the 7th inning, and that means it's time for Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back after this. Our friend Gracie Lynn has just been a plethora of information. Ask the question, she's better than Google. Or, hey, Siri. And we know what that means. Gracie Lynn will give us the answer. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back. She's been great tonight, as has CV and everybody else. Here's Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Welcome back, everybody. There is a pitching change as Joe C. Siu's night is done. A little surprised. I thought they would have brought him out for 1 more inning of work. Maybe if the ball game was a little closer, they could have done that. It is going to be number 68, Hikaru Kimura, who is coming into the ball game as he will take over here. As he is going to be slated to face the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, which means Luke Voigt stepping in here. And the first pitch is a fastball that catches the outside corner. Count is quickly 0-1 to Voigt. Kimura, the right-hander here. getting the opportunity to come into the ball game as the 0-1 pitch on the way to Voigt. Fastball misses outside, and the count goes even to 1-1. Saying earlier, Voigt was the 2020 American League home run champ. Friend God is Great is in the house. Thank you for popping in tonight. 1-1 on the way. Split finger pitch swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Voigt. Voigt got off to a pretty good weekend start, and then he has stalled a little bit last night and tonight against the Hawks pitching. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, as it is a fastball that moves inside and backs Voigt off the plate, and the count now goes to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Glad you guys could make it back in here tonight for more NPB action. Here comes the 2-2 pitch as the right-hander kicks and fires. It's a fastball that misses up and in, and it's now full to Voigt. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Gracie Len says she still can't believe that Luke Voigt is still playing. How old is Voigt now? Well, Voigt was born. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Voigt. Voigt was, he's 35 years old now. Turned 35 in February. He's gone for the first out of the inning. He had a great year last year. He came over, he played in 67 games for the Eagles. And he hit 13 homers and drove in 39 runs, basically in playing in less than half a season. Actually, yeah, less than half a season. And so they re-upped him. Boy, I think it was a good move. He hasn't homered yet this year. But when he gets on the roll, he could be a big part of the Eagle offense. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Kurikawa. Kurikawa 0 for 2 tonight. He has grounded out and struck out at his 2 trips to the plate. As that pitch just misses for a ball, and the count now is 1 ball and 1 strike. Dominican Chino says took the Hawks 6.5. Epic fail. As the pitch is on the line, there's a fastball swung on it, is lined softly over to second. And Taisi Makihara puts that one away for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it up to the right fielder in Yuya Ogo. Jonathan said, yeah, that is where Voigt ended up. You know, Voigt ended up here. I look at a guy like Voigt, and we've talked about this before. He's too good for AAA and not good enough for the big leagues. He's kind of that 4A player. And sometimes guys get that opportunity by going over to Asia or wherever to play. And the pitch is a breaking ball swung on, grounded over to the right side. Oh, what a diving play by Makihara into the 4-hole. Gets up and fires to first, and that's going to retire Ogo on a ground out 4-3. That's a web gem. If you get on Instagram tonight, I would have to think the Pacific League will have something for you there to be able to see. The Eagles go in order here in the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. Your score as we move to the top of the 8th inning, it is the Hawks with a 6-0 lead. Stick back around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this musical timeout. Well, everybody, our friend Gracie Lynn is tapping out, and you know what that means? It generally means take the over at this point, because every time she leaves, all heck breaks loose. We'll be back in just a couple of moments with all the action. Appreciate you for hanging in on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back in just a couple of moments after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters slated to come to bat here for the Hawks in the top of the 8th inning. That means Umeno, Imamiya, and Shudo. We'll see if it is going to be these 3 hitters to come to bat, or if we are going to see some pinch hitters at this point in time for Fukuoka. So we'll see if they will play it out. Looks like it is still going to be Imamiya, but we do have a pitching change on our hands, as Tohoku has gone to the bullpen yet again. It is number 45, Ryu Kutani, who is coming into the ball game. So we'll get our look at him here tonight. He's going to be the 4th pitcher used by the Eagles. So Ryu Kutani on in relief. And so who do we have coming up? It'll be Takeshi Umeno to lead things off here, the catcher. As he steps in, Umeno tonight is officially 1 for 3. He's got a single and 3 trips. He's now 5 for 14 on the regular season as he rocks and delivers. First pitch is a fastball that misses up and in, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. As the pitch on the way, it's a breaking ball. Taken for a call and strike. The count is 1-1. Jonathan said had him at 2.5. Wouldn't go to bed quite yet. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see here as they go into the pens late in the game. There is a breaking ball that misses down. It counts now 2-1 to Umeno. So 2 balls and a strike. Right-hander rocks into the delivery, kicks and fires. Fastball misses inside. It's now 3-1. As I said earlier, the bottom third of the batting order has been a bit of a thorn in the side. They are combined 4 for 10 tonight so far. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball under the hands for a called strike. The count now goes to 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Right-hander rocks himself into the delivery. Here comes the pitch. On the way, fastball swung on and fouled straight back, and the count remains full to Umeno. As we mentioned, we'll put up our schedule next little bit. We may or may not be able to get in tomorrow night's game. As I mentioned, coming home from Seattle after the Yankee-Mariner getaway game. 3-2 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed, and Umeno is in the books. He's gone for the first out of the inning. Second time tonight he's gone down on strikes, and that is going to bring up the shortstop in Kenta Imamiya. Well, for Imamiya, he is 1 for 3. He doubled home a pair of runs his last time up. I shouldn't say doubled. Actually, it ended up being a single. He singled home a pair of runs. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, taken for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1. And then on the weekend, we'll do games, the Saturday and Sunday games, but that'll go up on our calendar here probably tomorrow or the day after. I haven't quite decided yet. Here comes the 0-1 pitch as it's on its way. It is a fastball that misses inside, and the count goes even at 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Anderson's wanting to know what we think if the score is going to get 6 or 7. I will say this, that the Hawks have scored in bunches tonight. So if they score, I can see them getting multiples. 1-1 on the way. There is a breaking ball taken for a strike. The count is 1-2. They scored 2 in the 3rd and 4 in the 6th. Seems to be their mantra. They don't just get 1, they get a bunch. So if they do score here or in the next inning, I don't expect it to just be 1. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and the count remains at 1-2 to Imamiya. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Right-hander ready to go back to work again. Rocks himself slowly into the windup. Here comes the delivery. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, loops softly over to third. A nice jumping catch by the third baseman Kurikawa, and that is going to retire Imamiya. He's gone for the second out of the inning. It'll bring up the top of the order in Yukio Shudo. You know, I have to say the third baseman Kurikawa almost mistimed that jump. It looked like the ball had come off the bat harder than what it was. It was off the end of the bat by Imamiya. I think he might have even broke the bat. It looked like there was a piece of wood flying somewhere. So that brings Shudo to the plate. Tough night at the office for him. 0 for 4 so far. As the right-hander kicks and delivers. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Shudo on the season, 2 for 18. Batting a mere 111. But as we know, his wheels never slump. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Fastball swung on it. It's going to be lifted down the left field line, but it's going to slice into the seats foul. The count now goes to 0-2 on Shudo. So no balls and 2 strikes. Now down to the Rosenbag goes the reliever Katani, and we're ready to go again as he's got a new baseball. 0-2 forthcoming. Pitch on the way. There's a split finger pitch missing it down and in. It moves Shudo off of the plate. Count is 1-2. So ball and 2 strikes. When this one is over, we'll give you the full recap. All the other games are late starts across the NPB, so we're not going to give you any of that report. Breaking ball misses down and away, and the count goes to 2s on Shudo. And back to the Rosenbag goes the right-hander. Loads himself up, and we're ready to go again. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. As he rocks into the windup and delivers. Breaking ball swung on, lifted into left field. Again, Sato started in, and then he holds his ground, and he makes the catch, and that is going to do it. As Shudo is going to be retired for out number 3, and that'll do it here for the Hawks in their half of the 8th inning. They go in order, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. Your score as we move to the bottom of the 8th inning, it is a touchdown lead for the Hawks. They are up 6-0. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action right after this musical timeout. Stay with us, everybody. Great to have you with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Right back in just a few.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Tomohisa Ozeki who is coming on in relief here for the Hawks. So Ozeki is completing his tune-up tosses. We will be resuming the action here in just a few. So Ozeki on in relief. And he is going to be set to face, well, it's slated to be Hideto Asamura. And then it's Itsuki Moribayashi and Hikaru Oda. So we'll see how this is. As we are ready to go again. Our friend Anderson says he's thinking about doing stuff. I can't tell you either way. You're going to have to make that decision. I don't always have a feel for what's going on sometimes, and especially at the start of the year, it's always been a bit of a crapshoot. We put up our picks on the channel We've been doing it to get going on the year. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count's 1-1 to Asamura. Hopefully I could get it done tomorrow. Tomorrow's a busy day. We'll do the best we can to run it, but 0-1 on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted, foul down the right field line. Count goes to 0-2. And early in the season, like the Swallows are not a very good team, yet they're off to a great start. Undefeated through their first 4. Hawks, I can understand being undefeated. The NPB champions last year. There's a fastball swung on, grounded up the middle, bounced off the mound, took a favorable hop to Imamiya. He's going to field it and throw over to first, and Asamura gone. Ground out 6-3 for out number 1. That'll bring Murray Biashi to the plate. But early in the season, everybody's healthy. The arms are in good place. A lot of the teams, they're in a good position. I wouldn't have picked the Dragons out of the gate to stumble like they have. The other thing is the Dragons typically play the Yomiuri Giants tough. And to me, that's always something that, I see and I look at it and I say, well, that's where we're at. And my best picks, certainly on our channel, when we give you guys what our thoughts are, is for the fun for me, but we also take it with pride in doing it. There's a fastball that's hit down the right field line. It's going to reach the seats, and the count is quickly 0-1 to, looks like we have a pinch hitter for Murray Biashi. This is number 32. This is Daisuke Nakashima. End of the night for Murray Biashi. So our first look at Nakashima here in this series. As that pitch misses down, and the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Left-handed hitter facing the right-handed hitting Ozeki. Pitch on the way, fastball just below the knees. Count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Pitch on the way again. Fastball swung through and missed, and the count now goes to 2-2. So our picks for today, we took the Hawks for the victory. Obviously, with Sue on the mound, that was my pick. And then we also said our best pick of the day was the Hawks. Our other picks for later in the day, we got the Tigers over the Bay Stars. Pitch on the way. There's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Not sure what Nakashima was looking at, but he's gone for out number 2, and that's going to bring up supposedly going to bring up the catcher in Hikaru Oda. We'll see if Oda stays in or if they're going to go to the bench here. Yep. Nice pitch there. Fastball on the inside part of the plate. Nakashima got locked up there for sure. It is going to bring Oda to the dish. Oda tonight is officially 0 for 1. He has a walk and he's grounded out. Our other picks, we took the Tigers to take out the Bay Stars later on tonight. Fastball misses down. It's a battle of Americans on the mound as Cox will go head-to-head against Easton Lucas. We took the Lions to beat the Buffaloes in that one. We got the Carp over the Swallows. I think the Swallows will taste defeat for the first time. That pitch misses down. It's now 2-0 to Oda. And the other game is the Fighters and the Marines, and we're staying with the Fighters in that one. We were able to go 4-2 last night in our picks. We've evened our season record. We're at 500. Stumbled out of the gates a little bit. Fastball misses inside, and the count now goes to 3 balls and no strikes on Oda. CV says no more Bauer. Joe Mama says, do we bet? Sometimes, yes. Not every day. Fastball taken on it for a called strike. The count now goes to 3-1. I don't have any horse in the races in the Japanese league, and so we do from time to time. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses down, and that's going to be ball 4. Oda's going to get himself a 2-out walk. That's going to bring up the second baseman in Hiroto Kobakata. Joe says, good luck when we do. I appreciate that. And are we going to have a pinch hitter? Yeah, it's going to be the end of the night for Kobakata. We're going to get, looks like it's going to be Daichi Suzuki coming out from the gallows underneath the stadium. So Daichi Suzuki into pinch hit. I like Suzuki. I like the way that he plays the game. I like his professionalism. He's a little long in the tooth. Don't know how much more game he's got left, but I do enjoy the way that he plays. He's played first and third base. So he comes to the dish here. He is 1 for 5 this season in the early going, as he is ready to face Ozeki. And the pitch on the way, slow breaking ball, taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1. He's the kind of guy that could run into a pitch. Anderson says, do they have 2 people on base? No, they just have 1. There's 2 gone here in the inning. Oda is the runner over at first. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball comes in, hits him, and now they got 2 people on base. Suzuki is slowly going to make his way over to first. And that is going to bring up the top of the order, Naoki Sato. So he is going to walk his way down to first. See, that's another thing that this could be a whole commentary on for people who are gambling and betting, especially when you're watching live sports. Is it really live? I was telling everybody when I was sitting in the game at Chiba a couple of years ago at the stadium, there's also Marine Stadium, and I had pulled the game up on my phone between the Lions and the Marines. And there was approximately about a 16 or 17 second delay between watching it on my phone and the game in front of me. And so when we give you guys the call here, with that in mind, you get another 6-7 second delay. That breaking ball drops in for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Sato. That makes it a little bit difficult. Are you really betting truly live with the delays? I'm not sure I really like that. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Pitch on the way, fastball misses up, and the count goes to 1-1. A lot of things can happen. Odds can change. Different things end up happening in that very short window of time. So here comes the 1-1 pitch as Ozeki delivers. Breaking ball drops in for a called strike. Oh, that was a nice pitch. Ball and 2 strikes to Sato. It buckled Sato's knees. Couldn't believe it. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runners at first and second here as the Hawks trying to finish off the Eagles in the inning. Fastball misses up and away, and the count now goes to 2-2. I think you got to give him another breaking ball again. Those breaking balls that Ozeki has thrown, electric, absolutely electric. Knee bucklers for sure. So here comes the 2-2 pitch as the right-hander holds to the set, kicks and fires fastball, and he blows it right by Sato. He's gone in the books for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here for the Eagles in their half of the 8th. Well, they threaten, but they don't score. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 runners left aboard. Your scores were through 8 complete. It is a 6-0 Hawks lead. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the top of the 9th inning when we return after this, and we are expecting wholesale changes all around the field. Here's our friend Steve.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers, and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve. We do have a no pitching change, but we do have some changes in the field of play. The new left fielder is going to be Nakashima. New third baseman is going to be Daichi Suzuki. As they make their way around, it looks like we're going to have a new shortstop as well. We'll have to get you caught up on that, as well as a new second baseman. So it looks like that Kurakawa has gone over to second, and the new shortstop is going to be Daiki Ire, as he is taking some ground balls over on that side. So that is what we have. It is going to be coming to bat here. It's supposed to be Kensuke Kondo, Tetsuro Yanagamachi, and Yuki Yanagita to face Katani here in the ninth inning. Do I think the Eagles are coming back in the ninth? Well, a couple of things are going to happen. Either we're going to witness the greatest comeback of the season if the Eagles are able to come back and win this one, or it's just going to be the Hawks putting the nail in the coffin. Everybody is just waiting. Is it going to be a 6 or is it going to be a 7-run score tally or over and unders? Here comes the first pitch. Breaking ball misses up, and the count is 1-0 to Kondo. It's amazing. That's another thing, too. When you think of the gambling houses on how the games are played out and how close sometimes they really are in the odds, it's amazing. There's a breaking ball taken for a strike, and the count goes to 1-1. I mean, sometimes they get blown out. There's no doubt. You don't know what happens. Somebody breaks an ankle. They lose a player. Guy gets hurt and injured. Alters the context of the game. There's a breaking ball missing up and away, and the count's now 2-1 to Kondo. But that being said, all things being equal, very interesting to see how the games are mapped out by the gambling houses. 2-1 pitch on the way. Fastball swung through and missed, and the count goes to 2-2 on Kondo. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Thank you again for everybody for joining us here tonight. It's been another lively chat. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away down the left field line, and the count is 1-2 to Kondo. Yeah, local nice boy says he's got the over 6.5. Yeah, well, here comes the 2-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball swung on it. It's chopped up the middle, fielded by Erie, moving to his left. And he fires out to get Kondo on a ground out 6-3. You could also see with this part of the batting order, it could be a solo shot. Could put that icing on the cake with the part of the lineup. It's going to bring Yanagamachi to the plate. Yanagamachi is officially 1 for 4 in this one. He has singled, he's bounced into a fielder's choice, and he's grounded out twice. He has scored one of the 6 runs for the Hawks. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball missing up and away, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander ready to go again as he rocks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses inside. Count now goes to 2 balls and no strikes. And at the same time, we're glad we could be of assistance in giving people the information and the call. The 2-0 pitch on the way. Fastball misses outside. It's now 3-0 to Yanagamachi. As much fun making the calls and sharing the information with everybody. Whether you gamble, whether you don't, or whether you just like talking ball. There's a fastball that misses outside, and Yanagamachi's aboard on 4 straight pitches outside the zone. That's going to put him over to first. That's slated to bring up Yuki Yanagita to the plate. Looks like we're going to have a runner immediately for Yanagamachi, and that is going to be, looks like it is Atua Ekene who is in to run. As I mentioned before, Ekene, when I've seen him before, he does look like he's the kind of guy that is very similar to a Yukio Shudo. Obviously, late in the ball game, coming in to run. We've seen him play defensively. Not bad. Swings the stick okay, but his role is going to be marginal here with this group. Breaking ball misses down and in, and the count is 1-0 to Yanagita. I wouldn't think at this time of the game they're still running up by 6, but you never know. Wouldn't exactly be the most sporting piece by either of these teams as the pitch ready to come here. On the way, fastball swung on, it's grounded foul down the first base line. Count 1-1 to Yanagita. So 1-1, again leading in and getting the sign as he works himself into the set position. Pitch on the way, breaking ball misses down and in. Count goes to 2-1 on Yanagita. So 2-1. Yanagita waggling the bat. Waiting on the offering here from the right-hander who works himself set again. The 2-1 forthcoming. And now he steps off the backside of the rubber. It was like a Mexican standoff. I wasn't sure who was going to blink first. Was it going to be Yanagita or was it going to be the pitcher? Because the catcher and the home plate umpire looked like they were ready to fall asleep. As the pitch is on the way, it is a changeup that drops in for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2-2. Runner on first is Yanagamachi, who the pinch runner actually Akene. And it is 1 gone here in the inning. Erie is almost over the bag at second base. They are playing the batter to shift. There's a ground ball hit over to the first base side, and the count remains at 2-2. So 2-2. Game has been pretty smooth in terms of compared to last night, but this inning here, for whatever reasons, seemingly taken a bit of a stall. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. And the right-hander kicks and fires. Fastball swung on. This ball is lined into center field for a base hit. Yanagita is aboard with a single. That is his second hit of the night. Stopping over at second is Akene. It looks like Yanagita is going to get some high fives as his night will be over. We're going to have a runner for him. And who do they choose to bring in? It looks like it could be, is that Soji? I think that is who they have brought in. It's Udai Shoji in to run here. And meets Enna. Well, depending on what people got it at. Some people had the over-under was at 6.5. So with 2 aboard and 1 gone here, there's going to be some people biting their nails as Otaka Yamakawa comes to the plate. He is a double play candidate. He's also a candidate to put a ball into the seats for a 3-run shot. And the first pitch ready to come here. As it's on its way, it is a fastball that is missed. Up goes the right hand as Yamakawa has been tagged with a strike, says the first base umpire. So 1 strike it is. He couldn't hold up his swing. We are on the West Coast, so that would be Pacific. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Fastball just below the knees, and the count goes to 1-1. So we like doing the late night games usually. Sometimes we'll do the day games in Major League Baseball. We'll add some of those into the calendar in the next couple of weeks. Most of our stuff is NPB, but Major League Baseball is on the docket as well. Fastball swung on it, is lifted into straightaway center field. Coming in is the center fielder. That is Tatsumi. He makes the catch. And that is going to retire Yamakawa for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone, and that is going to bring up Ryoya Kurihara. Well, For Kurihara, he has been all over the bases tonight. He is 3 for 3. He has drawn a walk and scored a run. I haven't been able to find a way to get him out. He is 9 for 17 to start the year. So Kurihara digs in, ready to face the right-hander here. So that opening night, where he made a couple errors, now a distant memory here for the Hawks' third baseman. Pitch on the way, breaking ball, taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Once again, we do appreciate everybody who has jumped in with us. Whether you listen live or on delay, we get quite a few people who come and listen to the game after it's already been broadcast, certainly those Europeans in the morning. We thank you for that. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1. Europeans in the morning, obviously not getting up to listen to this in the middle of the night. So no balls and 2 strikes to Kurihara as the right-hander holds set. Checks the runner at second. Checks him again, and here comes the 0-2 offering. Fastball inside and low, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the left-handed hitting Kurihara waiting here on the offering from the right-hander. Pitch on the way. Fastball just misses under the hands. It's going to run the count even to 2-2 on Kurihara. Two on and 2 out here in the 9th inning, as Kurihara is waiting on the pitch here from the right-hander Katani. As the right-hander holds to the set, here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. The count remains at 2-2. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning, slated to come to bat will be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Golden Eagles. Tatsumi, Voit, and Kurikawa. All supposed to be coming up there. Jomama says, seems like a trap on the under. Yeah, you got to watch out for those traps. So here comes the 2-2 pitch as the right-hander kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball's belted into deep center field. This ball could be trouble. Moving back and with room to make the catch is Tatsumi. Oh, he sent it a long way, but the wind that's blowing in from straightaway center field knocked it down. And Kurihara going to be gone for the 3rd out of the inning, and that will do it here for the Hawks in inning number 9. They had no runs in the inning. They did have a hit. There was no errors. And there were 2 more runners left aboard. If you're keeping score along with us, that is 9 runners left for the Hawks tonight. Could have cashed in a few more. Your score as we move to the bottom of the 9th inning, it is a 6-0 Hawks lead. Stick around with us. We'll be back in just a little bit after this timeout. Stay with us, everybody. It is 6-0 for the Hawks.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be number 13, and that's Ryuta Inagawa coming on in relief as he is going to take over here and try to preserve the shutout for the Hawks, as he will be facing the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the batting order. That means Tatsumi, Voit, and Kurikawa. So everybody who has hung in here to see if it's an over or an under, we're going to find out here in about 3 outs time which one it is. 6-0. Hawks have the lead. They've scored 2 in the 3rd inning. They added 4 more in the 6th. Is that how this game has played out here tonight? But it is the bottom of the 9th inning as we are ready to go here. As the reliever Inagawa has completed his tune-up tosses, there are some defensive changes for the Hawks as Hirose has got into play over at first base. So here we go back to the live action. The first pitch on the way. Fastball misses upstairs. The count is 1-0 to Tatsumi. Tatsumi tonight has 2 of the 3 hits by the Golden Eagles. The other one belongs to Kobakata. There's a fastball missing upstairs, and the count now to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. That's what you're wanting here, is you want to be able to get yourself out of this ball game unscathed. As I said, either 2 things will happen. Either the greatest comeback of the year, or this game is going to be over just as it is right now. Breaking ball drops in for a called strike. The count is 2-1 to Tatsumi. The Hawks have kept the hitters at bay here for the Golden Eagles. There's a breaking ball missing down and in, and the count goes to 3-1. So 3 balls and a strike. Our friend God is Great, who was in here earlier, is up in the Sendai region, and he was saying yesterday lots of flooding in that area. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That 3-0 pitch went behind Tatsumi. He bounced it up to the plate. Oh boy, it almost looked like he had the yips. I mean, you throw a pitch and you spike it. Yeah, we get it. Understand that. But to throw the pitch and to throw it behind the hitter, and I mean, it wasn't even close. It was a good half a foot or more behind him. Unbelievable. So Tatsumi aboard with a base on balls. So for those of you who may have taken the over, if this is any premonition of how this is going to go, you might be all right. This is going to bring Luke Voit to the plate. Voit tonight is 0 for 3. He has struck out twice and flown out. I mean, all he can do really is laugh. First pitch is a breaking ball that drops in. I guess don't throw the fastball because you might spike it again. The ball is a 1 strike to Voit. Our friend Jomawa says, are the Eagles going to get a run across? Well, there's another breaking ball that misses upstairs. The count's 1-1. Is he going to be able to throw more than 1 strike per batter? I guess that's a greater question. And certainly Luke Voit looking to jump on something here. He has to try to figure out his swings. Here comes the 1-1. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on. This ball is going to get looped into right center field. Is it going to get down? Coming in, sliding, and making the catch as the right fielder. Oh, what a play there. That was Kawamura, who has come into the ball game for Yanagamachi defensively, and that is going to retire Voit. That almost bled down. That's 1 gone here, and that'll bring up the third baseman in Fumiya Kurikawa. Well, at least he started at third. He's now over at second base. So Kurikawa coming to the plate. He is 0 for 3 tonight. Has a very interesting stance from the left side. He is sort of tall from the waist down, but he is hunched on from the waist up. First pitch misses for a ball, and the count is 1-0. The pitcher has thrown 9 pitches since coming in, has Inagawa, and he's only thrown 3 for strikes. Well, there's another one. Breaking ball drops in for a called strike, and the count now goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So the right-hander again delivers a breaking ball and again drops in for a called strike. The count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander leans in, gets the sign. As he works himself to the belt, here's the pitch. Fastball misses upstairs. It gets off the glove of Ameno. Down to second goes the runner down to second base. And he has slid in safely. So a good read there. That pitch is going to be, I think it's going to be a wild pitch charged. I'll have to see what they call it. He had to leap up and catch it, knock it down. The runner took off. The throw was not in time. So Tatsumi in at second, we'll say on a wild pitch. Now he's in scoring position. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Kurikawa. Base hit here would score him. Pitch on the way. It is a breaking ball swung on, grounded foul just past the bag at first base. And the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Kurikawa as he steps back in. The right-hander Inagawa ready to deliver again. Checks the runner over at second. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on, grounded softly over to the right side, fielded by the first baseman Hirose, and he's going to step on the bag, and that's going to retire Kurikawa on the ground out to 3 for the second out of the inning. Advancing over to third is Tatsumi. That's going to bring, or slated to bring Yuya Ogo to the plate. So this is 2 gone here. Now, I got to tell you, the way this pitcher's thrown, I wouldn't bat an eye if he threw a ball to the backstop. And that would be one way to lose your over-under. I think people would be probably throwing and smashing things. Here's the first pitch. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike it is. Ogo has had a tough night at the office. 0 for 3, ground out, strikeout, fly out. 1 for 5 in the early going here. There's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count now goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. I wouldn't have guessed that many people would be excited for the over-under as there is in the stream here tonight. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is as the left-handed hitting Ogo waiting. Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine that? Here's the 1-1. Oh, fastball all the way to the backstop. And guess what? There's your run right there. As Tatsumi has come in to score the run. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The pitcher, as I said early on, looks like he had the yips. Ball goes all the way to the backstop. It is now a 6-1 ball game. Unreal. Oh. I can't believe it. Like, it wasn't even close. Wasn't even close. 2 wild pitches in the inning takes the runner from first to second and then from third to home. Our friend Joe Mama said he had the under at 6.5 and cashed out. I've not seen anything like that. Not in a while anyway. There was another game that was pretty crazy where on a wild pitch, 2 runners scored. It was a fighters. We were doing a fighters game, I think against the Hawks a couple of years ago. And the ball got by the catcher. And 2 runs came to score. Unreal. Well, 2 balls and 1 strike it is as Ogo is still at the plate here. And that breaking ball bounces up and the count goes to 3-1. So there goes your shutout, Fukuoka. So 3 balls and 1 strike. As the right-hander again kicks and delivers a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count goes to 3-2. Edwards says he had cashed out on the under 6.5. Yeah, good for you guys. As I said, I'm sure there's some pieces of computer equipment flying around somewhere. That'd be one of the wildest things. 3-2 on the way. Breaking ball misses down and in. That's going to be ball 4. So Ogo is going to be aboard here with a 2-out walk. That's going to bring up the first baseman in Hideto Asamura. And I guess that's why we play the games. Unbelievable. And it's going to bring the pitching coach out of the dugout. It's also going to bring the manager of the Hawks out as well. And I think they've seen enough. This is the end of the night for Inagawa. They're going to go to the bullpen. They probably would have figured that they would have been it. They could have closed out the deal. But Inagawa coming in, throwing balls to the backstop. His job is done. I don't think he's getting a round of applause anywhere. Probably running right to the knee gun, which is the second team in Japan. We'll be back in just a moment. We got a pitching change. Hang with us, everybody. We appreciate you guys for being here with us. We'll give you our friend Steve for some entertainment. We'll be right back after this timeout.
Hello, everybody. And you know why we're here? Well, of course you do. You'd be nuts not to be here to watch Freddie call another game. Freddie, the king of kings on baseball commentary. You know what? Come to think of it, with Freddie, there's absolutely nothing hotter than listening to him broadcast. Not even the Reaper Triple X puckered butt squeezing hot sauce. We'll just give it a whirl here. All right, Freddie. Cheers. Holy cow, that may be a close second to you, Freddie. Still the hottest broadcast right now on YouTube. Peace out. Call a great game.
Well, we do have a pitching change, and I have to get you that in a moment, but we also have the rain has a cometh in the Sendai region. Our friend Samurai Prayer, who was listening earlier on, had asked if it was raining, and we said no, it hadn't been. But now the rain is a cometh. So that is where we have. It is Hideto Asamura who is coming to the plate here, as we have to get the number for you. It is number 64, Taiga Kamachitani, who is on the mound here. So Kamachitani on the mound. That first pitch was swung on and fouled away by Asamura. Count is quickly 0-1. This is going to be the fifth pitcher used tonight by the Hawks. There was a fastball swung on, is grounded and taken on one hop by the second baseman Makihara. Asamura is going to get gunned down at first. That's going to be the third out, and that's going to do it. No runs in the inning. Sorry, 1 run in the inning, no hits. No errors, and 1 runner left aboard. Your final score is the Hawks with a 6-1 victory over the Eagles. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments to wrap this one up for you. Unbelievable finish. What a way to lose a shutout. We'll be right back after this timeout.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Edward asked the question, any live places to watch? We always give it in about the first of the second inning. I think it was around the 18-minute mark. You'd have to go back and replay it, and we give you the locations that you can find it, both whether it's on television or on the stream. And then it becomes up to you to have to go find it. So, and it really depends on the country that you're in. Not every country is going to be able to give you the same spot all the time. And certainly you might have to have a VPN, or you might have to pull out your wallet. Either way, that's the way it's going to get done. Well, we'll give it the quick roundup here. The runs came, and they came in bunches for the Hawks. In the second inning, they opened up the scoring after a single by Kondo. He was erased on a fielder's choice off the bat of Yanagamachi. Yuki Yanagita stepped up and deposited a 2-run shot into the seats for his first of the year. It was 2-0 Fukuoka after 3. Hawks added 4 more in the 6th, a single by Kurihara, then it was a double by Makihara. After a strikeout by Ameno, up stepped Imamiya. He doubled home a pair of runs. That made the scoreline 4-0. And after a flyout by Shudo, Kensuke Kondo smoked his second home run of the year, and that made the scoreline 6-0. That is where it pretty much stood until the bottom of the 9th inning, when the reliever Ryuta Inagawa came in, and he was wild. He faced 4 batters, walked a pair, but it was the 2 wild pitches that were able to help Ryosuke Tatsumi circle the bases as they lost their shutout. He walked to lead it off, and then he was wild pitched over to second. A flyout by Luke Voigt kept him at second base, and then it was a ground out to first by Kurikawa that moved the runner over to third, and then it was a wild pitch all the way to the backstop. Wasn't even close. Tatsumi came in to score the first and only run for the Eagles in the 9th inning. Once again, your final score was the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks with a 6-1 victory over the Tohoku Rakuten Gold Eagles. That is where this one ended. All the other games go off in a couple hours' time. We're not going to be around to call them. We're calling it a night. There is a chance we may do tomorrow night's game. That's a small chance because we'll be coming back from Seattle. Not sure if I'll be able to get on the airwaves. If I can, I will. If not, it'll be on the weekend. It'll be Saturday and Sunday for the Japan games. Check our channel for the listings when they are available. Have a great night, everybody. We really appreciate you guys listening in. A lot of fun again tonight. Great crowd, great people, great baseball, good fun. Have a great night. We'll see you again in a couple of days.